Hatapakia no oreye nanatiwa satia kipra atuyo sumrakiwate yanatara kiwate yatasama kiwatu unraga kapati isha sate ikeba aitiwa. Good morning, beloved beings. Welcome, welcome. What is your limit? Today, this is what we're going to talk about on this love stream, this beautiful sunshiny day. We're going to ask, what is your limit? What is the limit that you have placed on yourself? Because the only limits that exist is the ones that we choose. Now, it may seem that the limits, like of physical reality, the universal laws, are imposed upon us. Nothing is imposed upon us. Everything is chosen by us, and everything is for us. Nothing is against us. Nothing is put on us. Everything is for us. And so the limits that we experience in this reality are with purpose. And we get to choose what that purpose is. We get to choose whether a certain limit serves us or not for a certain period of time. And then we can choose to throw away that limit. Then we can choose to play a new game. So like a playground for children, it's a beautiful space that we create, a safe space that allows children to express themselves fully, and so that the physical body is safe. And so we as souls come into this dimension of physical reality, and we create this playground called Earth. And we have certain dimensions of reality and certain laws that we create that create certain boundaries or limits, so that the playground allows us to express ourselves, to experience each other, to experience the wonders, the joys, the beauties. And for a certain, just like children, there'll be a certain time where a small child will be inside a cot, or will be inside a playground, so that they can enjoy themselves and express themselves fully, freely, and their physical bodies are safe, and they can be let free, because their awareness of what is going around and outside of that is not fully developed. And so we as souls, playing this role called adult, that deadly disease that we catch called adult, we forget the magic of being a child. And then we impose all of these boundaries and limits around our adult life that no longer allow us to express and experience and keep our physical body safe within the expression of this journey called life, this playground Earth, but actually limit us and keep us small and keep us stuck and keep us in this is possible and this is not. And so we're asking the question today, what is your limit? So if you're watching this video now, I'd like you to just contemplate this. Just contemplate this question. What is your limit? Where is your boundary? What is your ceiling? Where have you placed yourself in a box of what is possible, and that's it? Because no matter what that is, there's always more. Whatever limit you've placed upon yourself, whatever boundary, whatever playground, whatever place you have put yourself in, there's always more. There's always potential. There's always something beyond that you can't even imagine. And so we're invited today to take a look, firstly, contemplate the limits that we've set for ourselves and see that they are artificial. If you think about the child in the playground, or the baby cot, or a walker, or stabilizers on a bike, although my son didn't use any of those, he just got up on a bike and went. But we're just using these analogies that we'll be aware of. Certain structures that we create to assist us for a certain period, but what happens when the disease of adulthood steps in, and we're all we're all ravaged by the disease of adulthood. Some of the limits that were designed for a less expanded version of ourselves we keep, and sometimes we keep them for the whole life. We keep limits that were meant for a certain season of our life, like childhood, teenage years, adolescence, early 20s, and then we keep them the whole life. And we keep bound by these limits that we've set for ourselves 20 years ago, 40 years ago, 60 years ago. It doesn't matter. And it's like we've set an artificial ceiling to our experience on Earth. This is literally the Garden of Eden. This is literally the Garden of Eden. And we've placed walls and barriers and limits and limitations around the Garden of Eden, so we experience a limited version. So we experience something that is other than the perfection that it is. And again, these things serve as a purpose. The very body itself is one of these. The body is a limitation that we set that allows us to experience physicality. It allows us to experience touch. It allows us to experience the grass, the trees, the sun, and a degree of separation between them. So they're a gift. But when they have served their purpose as their gift, just like this body will, we will drop off those limitations. And so if we've set a limitation for ourselves that worked when we were a teenager or worked when we were a child, like a safe space or a coping mechanism to move through this challenging world, but we keep it into our 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, it's no longer serving. It's just keeping us in a false loop of limitation that no longer serves our higher self, no longer serves what we are becoming. And so the invitation today is look to see the artificial limitations that you have placed upon yourself. In around 2017, a certain limitation that was in the human life and the human potential for me was ripped off, was just exploded by a certain being. And I'm going to talk more about this, but I'm in a process at the moment, and I'm just going to flow with the process and see what it is. And so in this past weekend, that process has been awakened again. It's a process that I've went through before, similar. And again, I'll talk further about it as I go through, but what it is just an unquestioned assumption about what it is to be a human. What is possible, what is not, what are we able to be and what we're not able to be, what is the limitations. And so that limitation has been thrown off. And those limitations get thrown off and can get thrown off. Let's see if we can see the screen. They can get thrown off by others. So let's say we have a certain belief system of a certain thing that is true for all humans. The law of gravity. Very common one. Like another universal law. It's a planetary law, and a certain it goes beyond, but the law changes. So that law is okay. I know if I pick something up, I drop it, it's going to fall. Newton, was it Newton? Whoever it was. And so that law is hard and fixed. We believe in it. We know if we jump off this cliff, we climb a tree, we drop something heavy, we know that the law of gravity, because we agree on it, is going to affect that. But if we were to witness someone or something no longer bound by that law of gravity, what happens? The first thing the egoic mind wants to say is, it's not possible, it's a fake, this is a hard and fixed rule, there must be something wrong. Gravity affects everyone in the same way. That's the first reaction, pushing it away and resisting it because it challenges a paradigm that's strong within the ego. The second stage of that could be some sort of curiosity. Okay, this is a law, but this feels like it feels real. My experience has displayed that this law is real. Yet here is someone or something displaying something that is contrary to that law, or maybe like in the Hermetic philosophy, is not that it's contrary to that law, but it doesn't always apply all of the time to everyone in every circumstance. And for a law to be a real, true law, like a universal law, something biting on me there, thank you, you're welcome. It has to be the same in every circumstance to everyone all of the time. So if we see someone or something that, let's say, transcends a certain belief system or law, then we can begin to get curious and question, okay, if that is not possible, or if it's possible for someone or something else, then maybe it's possible for me. And so we begin to question. And then questions, the eye is on. Questions are the most powerful thing. Answers and finite, fixed things close down consciousness. Questions open. So if something that I believe is a limit to the human capacity is true for all humans, and then I see a human expressing something that transcends that, then I'm curious. Then I can be open, then I can question, Okay, if it's possible for them or this, how could it be possible for me? So then we open, so it's open. And then we can begin to experiment in these things. So the invitation today is to look to where you have set a hard and fast limit on your life in no matter what field it is in. If you just close your eyes and just contemplate the idea of limit or law, grand law, we're talking not LAW, land, air, water, not legalese law, not human jargon law, not control under the guise of compassion. And just contemplate for a moment, what are the laws or limits that I have set upon and that I believe in strongly, and all my experiences pointed toward that, that I maybe would be open and may benefit were they to transcend, were I able to see differently. It could be anything. Your spirit will share with you what it is. And then just open up to the possibility, okay, this is a fixed law. I wonder, is there anyone or anything that has shown that they have been able to transcend that? Maybe you can open to the possibility. You know, the yogis, there's yogis. It's not in clear culture because it's too shocking for for the human ego that there are yogis that have displayed levitation. There are yogis that are able to raise their consciousness to a certain degree and they're able to transcend the law of gravity. I mean, you're not going to see it on YouTube and all of these things because it's too shocking for the human consciousness. But let's just say there's something that your spirit has given you, and it's a limitation or a law that you believe, if you were able, and you are able to transcend that or see it in a different way, it could serve you and it could serve the whole. This is what's important. Not just serve you and serve the whole of humanity. And then just get open to the possibility that that exists, and get open to the possibility that there's someone or something can show you that. And then get curious if it does appear that there's someone that is living beyond your current limit. This could be anything. I'm using gravity. I'm using very high level ones. It could be anything. It's beliefs around money. It's beliefs around relationships. It's beliefs around human capacity, physical things. It can be really tangible. It was like the 4-minute mile story. Robert Bannister. I'm not sure his first name. I know it was Bannister. So there's a certain point where humans believed that if a human were to run a mile in 4 minutes, they would die. They would explode. Then one day, I think it's Robert or Richard, whatever his name, Mr. Bannister, ran a mile in 4 minutes. And what happened? Paradigm shifted. People see that someone did something. Then after that, I think within a very short period of time, other people started to do that which was impossible. So the difference in then and now, that I think that was somewhere in the mid 1900s or late 1900s, I'm not sure exactly when it was. But the difference in then and now is the proliferation of access to information. So let's say Mr. Bannister did that. Give me your name if you're still up there. Roger Bannister. So if that happened, there's many people in the world that wouldn't have access to that at that time. Huge amount of planet. But now, someone does something, someone achieves something, someone transcends a limit, we can instantly access that. Literally, through the internet, through the information age, which is very clear now. So the consciousness now allows this transcendence of limits and laws that we have placed upon ourselves in much quicker way. So whatever your spirit gave you as a limitation or a law that would serve you, and importantly, serve the whole, not just like self-serving, not just something, oh, I think that would be nice just for me. No, it has to be something that would serve you and serve the whole. Get curious and find out, is there a someone or a something that has achieved that or presents that? Then get curious. If that is a possibility within one being, then it's a possibility within me. It's the same thing, the story of the 100th monkey effect. So there was some island somewhere, I don't know, just make up an island, and there were monkeys on it, and they were studying scientists were studying these monkeys, and at one point, I think it was eating sweet potatoes. There was one point that monkeys on this certain island discovered a way that they could eat sweet potatoes. I might be getting this exactly right, but it's a principle that's important. And so there was a certain point that they weren't able to do something, and then 1, 2, 3, it continued, and a certain amount of monkeys were able to eat these sweet potatoes in a certain way that they weren't before. And what was interesting was they were on an island that was completely secluded, as an island is, and then what they found was they started finding the same species of monkey on different islands that didn't have physical connection or weren't able to observe and witness this, were able to do the same process after a certain critical mass was hit. So when a certain amount of these monkeys could do this process and eat the sweet potatoes, whatever it was, other monkeys that didn't see it, don't have internet, they have internet, they were able to go through the same process. And so this is the difference as well. We don't have to actually witness or see another human transcending this level. We just have to know within our being and within our hearts, and we know that it can serve us and serve the whole, that is possible, and be curious and be open and be open-hearted and drop from the mind into the heart, that limit can fall away, that limit can be dissolved, and you can be the one that steps into that, not for recognition, for cognition of who you are, recognizing that you are the source of spirit, and any limit that you have placed upon yourself or the world is there because you put it there, and it's there because you kept it there. And again, the laws of gravity and these other these laws that govern, there is a good purpose. It's good that we know if I step off a cliff, I'm going to fall down there. And are there certain laws and limitations that are no longer serving, that they were serving a younger part, a less expanded part? Are there laws and limitations that can just blow open the whole idea of what it means to be a human and what it means to be a part of a collective called humanity and beyond? So the invitation again is to look at what limitations you've set, especially ones you've set in stone, as I sit in this sacred stone, and see, can you get curious? See, can you be open and see that would the transcendence of this limitation serve you and serve the whole, and then just open up to the potential that limit is not a limit, and no limit is ever a limit, and nothing, including the law of gravity or any of these other laws, we're not bound by any of them. They are there to create the playground. They are there to create the cot. They are there to create the training wheels. They're there to create the environment through which we can evolve from the child to the adolescent to the adult. And it's the adult without the disease of adulthood, the expanded human. And so look to see that, and look and find, if there's something calls within your heart, you will feel it. Then look to find evidence. And if you don't find evidence, that's okay. Like the 100th monkey effect, you don't need to find evidence of it. If you know that it will serve you and serve humanity, and you stay open to the potential that the limit that you placed is there because you placed it there, and it's placed there not so that you can be bound by it, it's so that you can transcend it. It's come to pass, it's not come to stay. And then you start to live, act, breathe, talk, speak, combine, be in community with others who are open to that potential. Then that limitation, when it has served its purpose, shall be dissolved. This is the way of the universe. This is the way of this playground earth. And this is not for some special few. This is for everyone. And you can look to your life and see, like the analogy of the cot, the playground, the training wheels on the bike, we have all created these artificial limitations that have taken us to a certain level and allowed us to move on. We've already shown it to ourselves. It's just that we've thought that there's a certain limitation to our limitations, and there's none. We are not limited by our limitations. They're there for a season, for a reason, for a purpose, to take us to a certain level, and then we are there to let them go and transcend. I've been sharing recently, as I've been having these physical events, that I've realized the pattern in this one's life, in Martin's life, is that there are certain teachers have appeared over the years, and always, again, this is just this one. This is one perspective on infinite potential. A real teacher wants to get rid of their students. A real teacher makes students, and this teacher and student in quotes, independent of them. A real teacher does not want a student there for life. A true master is not the one with the most followers. A true master is the one that creates the most masters. Just letting that one sink in. There's no teacher for life. There is no master for life. Life is the teacher. Life is the master. But a true teacher is one who will want to get rid of you, who will want you to stand on your own feet, who will want you to become all that you can be and not be dependent on them in any way. Still in honouring and reverence and love and connection, but not in any way dependent. So look to any laws or limitations you've placed. You've placed someone on a pedestal. You've placed someone that you need something from them. You need something from them. You need a teaching from them, or they know something that you don't. And that's okay for a time. But what has been found for Martin's life, certain teachers and masters will appear, and there's always a moment where that teacher, directly or indirectly, will get rid of him. Whatever way it happens, it's going to happen. Because if we're dependent on a teacher, a book, a philosophy, any idea, we limit our limitations. We limit ourselves. A teacher is also a real teacher. Again, this might not be popular. A real teacher's intent would be for their, quote, again, quote, teacher, student. Just use it because it's easy. Oh my God, what is that? There's some stuff went across the screen there. That was weird. Okay. So that was confirmed, whatever that was. A real teacher wants, and its sole desire and core goal is for the students to transcend them and to go farther, go further, go beyond them. A teacher that subtly wants to keep you will want you to go to their level and no more. Again, this is a little bit controversial. We don't skip controversy. So maybe one of your limitations is you've followed someone or something or some idea for a long time and you feel that you cannot be without it. That's called an addiction. This one knows very well. If you have a certain set of ideas or belief systems that you feel like you cannot be without them, that's an addiction to limitation. And so the invitation is to find the teacher, the idea, the belief, the master, the philosophy, whatever it happens to be, that is a limit you've placed upon yourself. So they've set a certain, and there's a real gift. Again, it's for a reason and a season, but it's never forever. Forever is ever expanding. So no teacher, idea, philosophy, book, whatever it happens to be, can be, or they can be with you forever, but then you're limited to what they have expressed. You're, again, a real teacher will want you to move beyond them, go deeper, go farther, go further, and they'll not try and hold you back, and they'll not try and keep you with them. They'll not try and keep you in the loop every day. I need to see what they're saying. Oh, I need to get my ideas from them, or they know something I don't. So just invite you to find what is your limit. See, is there someone that is living beyond that limit? And even if there's not, be open to the potential that there is, and then get curious as to what would life be like if I lived beyond this limit? What would life be like for this one, and what would be life like for the collective if I were to model and transcend moving beyond that limit? And what effect could that have on the global family, on the whole of humanity? This is the contemplation for day, whatever day this is. Oh my God, I just stepped into the Life of Bliss Living transmission videos. So this is not one of those, apparently. Let's see if we can get it. Before we go, a little tour of these beautiful spring flowers and trees. So Martin is going to contemplate this idea today as to what limitations, and he is in the process of one very large one at the moment, and around about 6 days into that, and we'll see how it goes without any expectations or pressure. With greatest love, joy and ease, it will be continued to be explored with curiosity, with fun, with lightness, with laughter, for freedom. So put in the comments. I can't really see the screen because the sun is very bright. If you put in the comments, please, What is the limitation or limitations? Please put in the comments. What is the limit or limitation or teacher or idea or philosophy? Maybe not put the teacher, doesn't it? Because then it's kind of, no, don't do that. But just contemplate, because it's a gift. It's a gift. Like all the teachers that have crossed my path have been incredible gifts. And just saying that, okay, I'm done with this, I've set it aside, would be in some way to maybe feeling to not honor that teacher. No, honor that teacher, but just check in and see, is that teacher wanting me, or that master, or that idea, or that philosophy, wanting me take me to there and no further? Take me to where it has gone, or does it want me to go beyond? Are they wanting me to expand? Are they wanting me to see a different way? Are they wanting me to do what they have done and more, as the great master teacher on the planet, Yeshua, said? These things you shall do and more. That's what all of the religions forget. It's very convenient when they want to put a middleman between you and God. He said, these things you can do and more. The kingdom of heaven is within you now. So what teacher, idea, object, anything. So there's two big themes that this one's working on at the moment. And I will talk about them more, but I don't want to give, or I want to let it unfold naturally without too much. I will remain in mostly silence as this unfolds. So please put in the comments, and I will check it after because I can't see the screen because it's very bright. What is the limit or limitation that you know, if you were to transcend it, or you can discover that, wow, this is my whole life, no one can do this, and then you actually find someone that can, and if that would serve you and serve the whole, if you were to follow that path, what is it? And even if you've not found someone, if you're open to the possibility that this is possible, would it serve you and would it serve the whole? And be curious as to how you could explore that possibility. Okay, put it in the comments, and I will be back at 3:33 UK time for day whatever it is, maybe 2:02, something like that, for the daily quotes on the book. If you're not following along there, you can check it on YouTube and Facebook and all those other platforms. And just leave it with the question again. What is your limit? When you find it, know that you've placed it there. And you've not placed it there so that that's all this life is about. You've placed it there so that you can transcend it. You've placed it there so that you can be there for a reason and season, but you're here to transcend, to throw off all limitations, to throw off all shackles, to throw off all ideas that the human is limited in any way, because the human is not limited in any way. We are the way. The human capacity, the human body, the human spirit, the Gaia consciousness that gives home to this and many worlds are not limited in any way. We are, we are, we are one. Living consciousness, limitless and free. We are, we are, we are. Those who have come to remember that we are, we are, we are the truth, the way, the love, the light. We are, we are, we are one. No separation, no hierarchy, no systems of subjugation. We are, we are, we are. I am, I am, I am. Until next time, from my heart to yours, the divine in me sees, loves, and honors the divine in you. Namaste. We are